I am a clinical psychologist in private practice. I have 2 locations in Washington, D.C. I'm in Northwest Connecticut Avenue, and I'm also on Capitol Hill. I work with adults only, and I do individual psychotherapy. I also work with couples, and I work with families. I do family therapy with adult family members. Well, when I came to Washington many years ago, I was interested in politics and public policy, and I worked in that area. I ended up working in the Congress and eventually became a chief of staff to a member of Congress. So that's an unusual background for a psychologist. But while that work was interesting and exciting, it was not satisfying in this way. It didn't allow me the opportunity to really work one-on-one to help people achieve change in their life. So I was lucky to have the opportunity to go back to school, and I did that. I went to George Washington University and got my doctorate in psychology. And then after that, I did my postdoc work at Georgetown University, and I was a staff psychologist at their law school. So I worked with law students and lawyers who were going back to school to get an extra degree. I enjoy that work very much as well, but wanted to broaden my reach and work with different kinds of professional people. And so I left the university setting and started my own private practice. It is daunting to figure out how to get an extra hour out of your day, but it is just an hour, and I think that's important to remember. And here is why I think it's very important. What we know is that when people have problems and those problems go unaddressed, they tend not to get better. In fact, they can often get worse. And doctors know this better than anyone. They see this all the time. So for example, if you have a marriage that's got some problems in it, and marriage is, that's not uncommon from time to time, but if those problems go unaddressed, they can really wreak havoc on family life. I often, when I sit with a couple, I think to myself, if only this couple had come in 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. I love it when couples come in and they're about to get married and they're like, we just want to sort out some things before we do that. And I think that's wonderful. Well, I'm no different from anyone else, and it is always a balancing act to take care of others and take care of yourself. The ways that work for me are I like to exercise. I like to have downtime, some R&R, because the work that I do is intense, and I like to spend time with family and friends. And one thing that I think is really important is laughter. I think that is a good antidote to a very serious and stressful workday.